Hey, I'm Danielle, and today we're talking about what I look for when I'm hiring. We're talking all about interview tips, ways to prepare, what to actually focus on during the interview, and how to follow up afterwards. I recently took over our internship program at work, so this past week I've been interviewing candidates, and there's a couple other settings in the past that I've had this experience of interviewing on the hiring side. One is working alongside the founder of a startup and holding interviews for potential teammates, and the other is I actually do screener calls for candidates for different jobs as part of the strengths assessment that I've talked about before. Needless to say, I've learned a few things about what to do and what not to do when you're interviewing for a job or internship. The first thing you need to know is there are 3 key hiring questions. These are 3 questions under the surface that the employer needs yeses to in order to feel like you're a good fit for the job. And these 3 questions are: can you do the job? Will you do the job? And are you a good team fit? Can you do the job is more about your skill set. So do you have the previous experience in order to be able to fulfill this role? Will you do the job is really more about drive, motivation, really seeing if you care about doing a good job in this role. And then are you a good team fit? Do you fit in with the culture of the company, of that team? Those are the 3 things that employer needs to answer a yes to in their heads in order to hire you. And whether they specifically use that strategy of answering those questions or it's happening more under the surface, everybody's concerned with this. They want to know that you're prepared for that role. They want to know that you're driven and you're going to do a good job. And they want to know that you're going to fit in with the team well and there's going to be good synergy. All right, now let's talk about before, during, and after the interview. First off, preparation. What do you do before the interview? Obviously, you can Google different questions that employers commonly ask and do your best to prepare. My best tip is you want to actually talk out loud. You don't just want to think in your head what you're going to answer, but actually practice. If you can do it out loud in the mirror, that's great, even if it feels a little awkward. Or if you want to grab a friend and say, hey, will you just ask me these questions and give me feedback on my answers? But the specific tip I want to make clear here that has definitely separated the people who have gotten the internship role at my job and not gotten the internship role is, do you know about the company? The people who have never been to our website and are interviewing for the job, they have not even taken the simple steps. That does not mean that they are going to do a good job in this role because they didn't even take the energy to do a little bit of research. I'm about to tell you an embarrassing story about this one. When I was interviewing for my internship that turned into my first job after college, it was at a big company, and I did not come prepared to talk about what that company does. I don't know why. I did my research, but I don't think I actually practiced talking about what that company does, and I did not have a good understanding. So one of the people interviewing me asked, what do you know so far about what our company does? Very basic question. And I specifically remember, this is so cringy, I specifically remember starting my answer with, I feel like not a good way to start. My face turned bright red and I paused for what felt like a full minute, even though it was probably 10 seconds. Luckily, I was able to pull from my brain something that the person who interviewed me right before that had said about the company, and I was able to reiterate that, and she was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate, and added more information on that, but it would have been a lot less uncomfortable and I would have felt a lot more prepared if I had gone to the website and gone through the information, which I did, and then practiced talking about what that company does and save myself the embarrassment. So here's what you need to do to show that you're a strong candidate and you're gonna do the work and do the preparation. Go to the website, understand what they do as a business, and even look in the news and see if anything has happened recently with that company. The best thing you can do is involve that in your preparation, in your practice with your friend, and try reiterating what that business does. This question can come in a few different forms of, what do you know so far about our company? Or what's your understanding of what we do here? Anything like that, but you wanna be very clear on how you can respond to that, and the About section of their website is gonna pretty clearly tell you what they've got going on. Yesterday I interviewed 2 strong internship candidates, and yes, they had gone to our website, and yes, they'd actually been to our locations before, and yes, they understood what we have going on and what value we bring to our customers, and that was perfect. Don't be discouraged if you feel like you don't know anything and everything about the company, but do your best to research and do the prep work. All right, I got a few key tips for during the interview. The first thing I'll say is the most important quality that you need to show in your interview. I've learned this from the behavioral assessments I do because this is the one quality that if they don't have it, they're not gonna make it past that screener round. And it is responsibility. They need to understand that you're the kind of person who will follow through and just get their stuff done. If they have to worry about that, it's just more weight on their shoulders when they have way more stuff to worry about. And for me personally, responsibility is not just about following all the orders. It's really also about being proactive and taking ownership and bringing ideas to the table. So when I say responsibility, it's really has to do with the ownership of your role, and it's not just that you're going to be obedient, but you're going to be responsible and you're going to be proactive and you are going to take ownership of your job. And this goes for full-time jobs or internships. And another important piece during the interview is to advocate for yourself. It's really hard for me to want to bring on board somebody who very clearly is displaying doubt during the interview. So even if you need to listen to your pump-up song right before you go in there, what I'm saying is just do whatever you need to do to go in that room with confidence so that as you're answering the questions, you have a strong voice and you can show and display that confidence in your answers. This next piece of advice that I'm about to give, you've probably heard before, but I want to add a little more detail to it, and that is to ask questions. When you don't ask questions, you don't have any questions, or even if you feel on the spot and you can't come up with them, it just feels like you're not interested just as the person who's hiring. And I had this in like a 15-minute kind of screener call with someone last week, and she didn't make it through to the next round because she had absolutely no questions and was very meek, and it's just hard. She could be great, but you just can't tell in that situation. So come prepared with questions, and you can be asking questions about the company itself. It's okay to not know things as long as you're really eager to learn and it's not something that you could have Googled. Ask questions about the role itself, that job or that internship, and ask questions about the person who's interviewing you. People love to talk about themselves, so if you ask about their experience or what they like about the team or what's something they've learned from working in that environment, just ask them something about their experience. They're gonna really find that valuable, and they can tell that you're just interested in what's going on there. When you ask questions about the interview and their experience in that job, it just builds more of a connection in that interview setting and shows that you're just interested, and that's really the key there. And another simple thing you can do, important question you can ask at the end of that interview, is when you're gonna hear back. And that will just help you in your timeline and just understanding their time frame. And that brings us to after the interview. It's totally fine as soon as you get back to your computer to send that follow-up email. I personally like it when I get a follow-up email right away. It shows that you have that sense of urgency and helps me see that you really do care and you're really interested and you're putting in effort. So with that follow-up email, pick something specific from that interview conversation to integrate in there. Say, I really enjoyed talking about your experience with blankety blank project that you loved. It helped me understand that blank about the company. And don't be afraid to advocate for yourself in that email as well. You can put a sentence or two. I really feel like I'd be a great fit because these 3 reasons or these 3 skill sets, and put your best foot forward in that email. They're not gonna think you're full of yourself if you word it right. They're gonna see that you just care and you really want that job. And feel free to follow up if you don't hear back in the time frame that they said. They may still be in the decision-making process and they're probably just busy. So if your name comes to the top of their inbox, that's probably a good thing for you. And we will go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got an interview coming up, good luck. I hope that you get it. Remember to prepare before the interview, go into the interview with confidence, and follow up afterwards. And I hope you get the job. If you want more videos about career development and personal growth, please subscribe. You'll get more good stuff like this, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!